Hey you all, Farmer Jesse here. Real quick video this week. I just want to talk about getting garlic out. Am I really wearing a no-till shirt and no-till hat? It's embarrassing. I want to talk real quick about just getting our garlic out. We're starting to harvest. Talk about when to harvest, how to store it, and those sorts of things. So let's do it. First things first, if you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you are subscribed, you're awesome. Here's the thing, the garlic that I'm going to talk about today is hardneck. We don't grow the softneck anymore. I'm going to get another variety of softneck. We've just not found one we really like. It stores better than hardneck, stores for a longer period of time. Smaller cloves, not as great a flavor. If you all have any recs for good softnecks, put them below. I also feel like when you don't have a good cold winter, they don't vernalize very well, meaning they don't get the cold period that they need, and they don't bulb up quite as well. The hardnecks don't, so I do want a soft neck to throw in the mix just in case we have a really mild winter. Anyway, here's what we do. Here's how we know how to harvest it. So this is, you'll see that the tips start browning. This is, I'm recording this on June 17th. Tips start browning. Usually gets about 50% brown before we'll pull it because it's still growing the bulbs. Let me see. So the bulbs are still growing through that period. And so we'll start harvesting a little bit early to get some curing, and just, it's always a very hot job. So we try not to do it all at once. Anyway, so we start pulling it early, and once it starts to brown to about 50% of the top foliage is when it's ready to go. And you do kind of want to pull it before then because the neck gets softer and softer so that you can break it off a lot easier. And that's why we always bring a trowel with us too, to make sure that we get it all the way out. So the hardneck garlic is not one of the ones that you can weave together. So that's the soft neck. With the hardneck garlic, what we'll do is we'll take it back into our shed in the back of the truck or the car, and we'll cut it with about 2 inches left. And then we'll put that on these, what would you call these things? Trays that we've made, these long tables with chicken wire. We'll basically set these on those so that there's aeration underneath and above. You want them to be able to slowly cure. And we'll set those on those and we'll let them cure for a few weeks. We'll actually put a fan on them as well, and that helps to kind of just dry them off. We'll do that for about a day or two. We don't want the fan on the whole time. We don't want them to super cure super fast. That's not really the goal. A slow maturation is fine. We just want to get that initial moisture off so they don't rot. A lot of people will keep the whole thing. I don't know if there's a lot of benefit to that. To me, it takes up a ton of storage space, and it can be kind of unwieldy to tie them together and hang them and all that stuff. We've never had an issue. This is music is the variety, and we've never had an issue just cutting it off and laying it out in an area that gets good aeration, and not in the greenhouse. We don't want anything that's too hot. We like a nice ambient temperature. 70 to 80 degrees is fine. So yeah, it's not in a cooler and it's not in a greenhouse. Another thing that people say is the scape, right? The garlic flower, that you need to pull those off to get a good bulb, and that's not really been something that we've observed in our 11 seasons, 12 seasons growing garlic, 11 seasons, that it doesn't really affect bulb size as far as we can tell, or flavor. Maybe there's better science behind that somebody's actually researched the yield differences, but in terms of just pulling out, like I have no issue with this one. Like that's a basic market size, and the one right next to it. So the one in front of my face is one that has no scape, and the one with the scape. I mean, I see almost no difference between the two. So I don't think that's a big factor. And yeah, we try and sell as many of those scapes as we can, but obviously when you have thousands and thousands of them, it can be hard to move them all. You can go through and pick them off, but I still think it's not the best use of time. Oh, and I should update you on our Austrian winter peas. They didn't germinate very well on the cardboard, but we have a few little patches of them. You can see some of the patches that we pulled out already, and some patches still growing in the garlic. I still like this idea. We let them grow because I kind of want to save some seed from them. I still like this idea, but I think ultimately what we may do going forward when we plant Austrian winter peas into our garlic is we plant them, we won't plant the garlic on cardboard again, although it did great. What we'll do is we'll sow those Austrian winter peas, and when they get about the same height as this garlic in March, we'll pull them all out and use them as a mulch, because they can, if they grow together too much, they'll actually soften the base of the garlic, so it ends up making it really hard to pull the garlic out. And as you can see, you do want to leave that paper on, all the dirt, you know, we leave the roots, like we try and leave as many roots in the soil as we can, but it's kind of hard with garlic. But we want to leave as much of the like paper and the dirt around it to protect it as possible. That'll help it to actually last a little bit longer. And you can also see that we separate the garlic that is going to be used for seed over here, line down the middle, and then market garlic. So seed garlic is always going to be like our absolute monstrous stuff, because the bigger the clove and the bigger the bulb it'll make next year. Ideally, we'll get to a point when all of our market garlic looks like this. Right now, it's not that far off. I mean, this is what all of our market garlic looks like. And one note here, anytime you're handling garlic, you need to be super gentle with it. Like if you throw it down or drop it, it'll bruise, like that'll bruise that clove and that'll rot. Although it looks like I'm kind of being harsh with it, anytime I'm setting it down, I'm being very gentle with it. And we do a little bit elephant garlic as well, and it's kind of the same thing. So we'll leave the scape on because it's a pretty flower, but then you can just pull the whole bulb, cut it, and then cure it the same way that we do our other garlic. Anyway, let me know if you have any questions about garlic. Like this video if you like this video, and we'll talk to you all later. All right, bye.